psychology from 2G3. And for today's video, we will learn how to play a badminton that you'll surely enjoy. Without further ado, let's get started! And now, we have the content synopsis or the overview. The first one, we have the history of badminton. Next, the equipment and materials. Third, we have the ground rules, the officiating, and how it's being played. So what is badminton? Badminton is an indoor or can be outdoor recreational activity that uses racket to hit the shuttlecock across the net. The common form of the badminton are single and double. Badminton will also improve our physical, mental, and emotional self.
History of badminton. Badminton can be traced back for more than 2,000 years ago to the ancient game called battledore, bath, or paddle, and shuttlecock, also called bird or birdie. Similar games were played for centuries across Eurasia countries such as Greece, Egypt, China, India, and Japan. Badminton invented in India as Pune. British officer fascinated by the game and brought it back in their country state at Badminton, Leicestershire. The game spread in England and in Canada, where it is now an outstanding indoor sports.
So first, let's proceed to equipment and materials. The first one, we have the court. Badminton courts measure 44 feet long by 20 feet wide with a center net line separation that creates a 22 feet long by 20 feet wide area on each side.
Badminton courts have boundary lines marking the 44 feet long by 20 feet wide outline. These lines are the long service lines for single play and the sidelines for doubles play. Single sidelines are marked 1 1/2 feet from the double sideline, or outer boundary line. Lines on the court marked 6 1/2 feet from the center line or the short service lines. A center line running from the short service line to the back boundary line separates the left and the right sides of the court. Parts of the racket include the head, throat, shaft, and handle with a maximum length of 27.77 inches and a width of 9 inches. Its strings that are stretched across the opening of the racket in a checkerboard pattern, which acts as the hitting surface.
Next is the shuttlecock. The badminton shuttlecock, also referred to as a shuttle or birdie. It is made up of a cone shape with a hard cup and its tip.
However, the design of the birdie creates more drag as it is propelled through the air due to its feathered shape. The shuttle has 16 feathers attached to the base, and the length of the feathers reach between 2.44 and 2.75 inches.
Next, we have net. A badminton net is placed lower than a volleyball net at 5 feet and 1 inch high on the sides and 5 feet high in the center.
The length may vary depending on whether doubles or singles are playing, with singles reaching 17 feet and doubles reaching 22 feet. The net is 30 inches wide with a 3 inches white tape doubled over the top.
Next, we have the proper gear. Wearing the proper gear drastically reduces the chances of getting injured.
And also, wearing the right gear does not exclusively apply to rough sports. Whatever sports activity you're into, protecting yourself from possible danger should be a top priority. In badminton, we have a ground rules, such as a match consists of the best of 3 games of 21 points. Second, the player or pair winning a rally adds a point to its score. At 20 all, the player or pair which first gains a 2-point lead wins that game. At 29 all, the side scoring the 30th point wins that game. The player or pair winning a game serves first in the next game. Next, a badminton match can be played by 2 opposing players singles or 4 opposing players doubles. Next, a competitive match must be played indoors utilizing the official court dimensions. Next, a point is scored when the shuttlecock lands inside the opponent's court, or if a return shuttlecock hits the net or lands outside of the court, the player will lose the point. And at the start of the rally, the server and the receiver stand in diagonally opposite service courts. A legal serve must be hit diagonally over the net and across the court. A badminton serve must be hit underarm and below the server's waist height with the racket shaft pointing downwards. The shuttlecock is not allowed to bounce. After a point is won, the players will move to the opposite serving stations for the next point. Next, the rules do not allow second serves. During a point, a player can return the shuttlecock from inside and outside of the court. A player is not able to touch the net with any part of their body or racket. Next, a player must not deliberately distract their opponent. A player is not able to hit the shuttlecock twice. A let may be called by the referee in an unforeseen or accidental issue arises. A game must include 2 rest periods. These are a 90-second rest after the first game and a 5-minute rest after the second game. Next, let's proceed to officiating. The referee is in overall charge of a badminton tournament or championship of which a match form part, to uphold the laws of badminton and competition regulations in BWF statuses. The officials are the judges responsible to ensure a fair badminton game is being played. They consist of: the first one, we have the umpire, the main judge for the particular badminton game. He/she has the power to overrule any decisions made by the service judge or line judges. The umpire is the person ensuring that the badminton game is run smoothly and prevent any players from delaying the gameplay. Whenever a player requests to change shuttle, the umpire will need to prove that the change could be made. And also, the umpire also looks out for faults committed around the net area, such as whether a player touched the net when returning the shuttle. Besides, the umpire is responsible to make a fault call when the shuttle touches the player or the players. Affairs except for the badminton racket. In badminton, it will be a fault or foul to a player if the shuttle touches any part of the player's body or attire. Next, the service judge. The service judge is responsible in making a service fault call to provide shuttles to the players. Line judges. Line judges sit beside the badminton court right in front of every in or out lines to determine whether the shuttle is inside or outside the boundaries of the court. Their calls are usually very subjective and are often controversial. And now I'm going to discuss on how it's being played. First, getting ready and serving. The game starts with a toss and the referee tosses the coin and one player calls head or tail. Player or team that wins toss had an option to choose a side of the court or an option to serve or receive first. If the player chooses his or her preferred side of the court, then the opponent player or team can choose to serve or receive first and vice versa. Serving is done diagonally and the first serve is made from the right-hand service court. The server should hit the shuttle underarm while it is 1.15 meter. The server cannot step on boundaries and should serve from the correct service court. If the shuttle hits the net and doesn't cross it after the service, it has to be served again. If the server commits a fault while serving, the opponent gets the opportunity to serve. The receiving player receives the shuttlecock from the correct service court diagonally opposite to the server's court and returns it, thus starting a rally. Players can move around their side of the court after returning the service. When a player shoots the shuttle outside the court boundaries or when a player misses to return the shuttle from his or her side of the court, the opponent gets a point and the rally ends. At the end of a game, players change ends, and in deciding game, players change ends when one player or pair scores 8 men or 6 ladies points. Next, we have serving rules for singles. The server serves from the right and left side of the service courts alternatively. Once the service is lost, the opponent gets 2 chance. If the players haven't scored any points or if they have scored an even number of points, they serve from the right side of the service court to the right side of the opponent. If the players scored an odd number of points, they serve from the left side of the court to the left side of the opponent. Next, we have the serving rules for doubles. Each team gets 2 chances to serve, 1 for each player. The members in a team serve alternatively. After losing 2 serves, the opposite team gets a chance to serve, and they start from the right side of the court. The serving team gets only chance to serve at the beginning of the game. In doubles, the pair that served in the previous rally and at the receiving end in the current rally doesn't change their sides. Players that win a rally and are serving change their sides. If the players haven't scored any points or if they have scored an even number of points, they serve from the right side of the service court to the right side of the opponent. If the players scored an odd number of points, they serve from the left side of the court to the left side of the opponent. Next, we have scoring. When the serving side wins a rally, a point is added to its score and the player or team serves the next rally. When the receiving side wins a rally, they add a point to their score and serve the next rally. A rally is won when a player or team makes a fault or when the shuttle lands in the opponent's court. The most common faults during a rally are: first, not hitting the shuttle before it lands within the boundaries. Second, the shuttle is hit into the net. Third, the shuttle fails to fly above the net. Fourth, the shuttle lands outside the court boundary. If the shuttle lands on the line, it is in, but if a player steps on a line while serving or receiving, they are out. Fifth, the player's body or the racket coming into contact with the net. Sixth, the same player hitting the shuttle subsequently. Next, winning a match. The best of 3 games make match. Second, the team or player scoring 21 points faster wins a game. Third, if the score of both the teams is 20 or 20 all, then the team that gets a 2-point lead wins the game. Fourth, if the score of both the teams is 29 or 29 all, then the team that reaches 30th point first wins the game. Fifth, the winner of a game also wins the right to serve first in the next game. And lastly, we have fouls. Players should hit the shuttle only from their side of the court. Second, players should not touch the net or slide under it. Third, the racket of a player should not land on the opposing team's side. Fourth, the shuttle should never hit players, even outside the boundaries. Fifth, in doubles, the shuttle shouldn't hit a player or his clothing or his racket before his teammate hits it. And last, both feet of a player should be on the ground while serving and receiving the service.